Hello everybody. Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers, a channel dedicated to those who are always looking forward to every breath of the most vibrant hospital in Port Charles. Today, we will immerse ourselves in a breathtaking development, where family secrets, moral choices and unfinished love intersect, creating a storm of intense emotions. Put yourself in the center of the story. Jason Morgan, a quiet but determined man, is guarding a mysterious hostage named Marco. In just a moment, a seemingly impossible phone call turns everything upside down, revealing the truth about the complicated relationships that few can imagine. Opening scene: the secret room, the silent watcher. The atmosphere is thick in the dimly lit room, where Marco is tied up lightly but securely to avoid causing serious injury. Jason stands against the cold cement wall, his cold eyes directed at the young man who is restlessly thinking about his own fate. The soft breathing, the steady ticking of the wooden clock on the wall, all created a tense and suffocating rhythm. Jason was not a cold-blooded kidnapper. He only protected justice in his own way, trying to find out the true identity and motive of Marco, the name that suddenly appeared, carrying many suspicious points, causing the entire Port Charles underground network to stir. Unexpected call, voice from the dead. While Jason was silently pondering, his cell phone vibrated, displaying the name Britt, the woman he believed had left this world forever. His heart was pounding so hard that it was suffocating. Memories of the beautiful doctor appeared clearly. He slowly slid his finger across the screen, accepting the call with a mixture of doubt, hope and pain. "Jason, can you hear me?" Britt's voice rang out. Her breath was slightly gasping, as if she had traveled a long way from the gates of death to reach his ears. Jason was tongue-tied, his lips dry. "Britt, this can't be." The shocking confession, Liesl Obrecht, and the fake death play. For the next few minutes, Britt spoke non-stop, her voice trembling as if about to break. She revealed that her mother, Dr. Liesl Obrecht, a master of deception, had staged the perfect fake death to fool her enemies and protect her daughter from the dark plots of the criminal world hunting her. Liesl used fake x-rays, manipulated forensic records, and a hasty funeral with a closed coffin, all to keep Brittany out of the sights of those who wanted to exploit her medical talent for evil purposes. Jason was silent, remembering the bitter pain of having to accept Britt's death. Now, the harsh truth was revealed, both like a gift of resurrection and a stab in the heart. He resented Liesl, but also breathed a sigh of relief knowing Britt was alive. Marco's true identity, the lost brother. Britt's voice trembled as she revealed the next secret. "Hey Jason, you have to listen to me. Marco is not a stranger. He is my brother, the real son my mother was forced to hide years ago." In a moment of silence, Jason felt the floor spin. Marco, the one he was guarding, suddenly became Britt's blood relative. It turned out that Liesl had given Marco to Natalia, his foster mother, to hide a mistake from her youth and avoid the scrutiny of the medical council and dark forces. Britt, who thought she was an only child, now realized that her family always had a missing piece. Britt's plea, demanding Marco's freedom. In the chaos, Britt choked. "Jason, I know you're holding Marco. Please, release him. He's just a victim of a power play. He didn't hurt anyone." Her voice rang like a silver bell, shaking the depths of Jason's once hardened heart. Memories of the moments Jason and Britt stood together, from the operating room that lit up hope to the long nights on the hospital roof looking at the stars, all came flooding back. He owed Britt something that fate had taken away from him: unconditional protection, love and duty. Jason's internal struggle. Jason quietly looked at Marco, seeing in that young man's eyes no longer the fog of guilt, but more the desire to be understood, to be forgiven. If the truth Britt spoke was completely correct, continuing to imprison Marco would mean he was betraying the woman he once loved. However, Jason also understood that releasing a man involved in an international crime network could have dire consequences for Port Charles. His sworn enemies were lurking, waiting for him to make a mistake. Finally, after a long wringing of his conscience, Jason took a deep breath and tied Marco, giving him the chance to prove his innocence. The two men's eyes met, the unspoken message between the former prisoner and jailer now turned to sympathy. Fateful encounter. Jason wants to see Britt. As Marco leaves to reunite with Britt in a safe location arranged by Liesl, Jason picks up the phone, his voice hoarse. "Britt, I kept my word. Now it's your turn. I want to see you in the flesh." I need to confirm that you're okay. Britt hesitates, but tears of joy glisten in her eyes. I'll go to the old warehouse near the docks at midnight. I'll be there. Be careful, there are still people after Marco and me. The appointment is set, but Jason knows that the steps he takes into the night will not only bring about a happy reunion, but also open up a complex arena where Liesel and her sworn enemy can fight for any life to achieve their goals. Old Mother Liesel, the master of drama and strategy. As for Liesel Obrecht, from her secret lab room, she observed everything through the security camera system she installed. She was cold, but her eyes contained a distorted maternal love, always believing that secrets and lies were the only way to protect her children. Liesel told herself, only when the darkness swallows all truths, people are truly safe. However, even the toughest mother's heart trembled when she saw Marco facing guns, Britt sobbing in confusion. Liesel realized that the path she chose might have dragged them into a more dangerous spiral. Port Charles rising, allies and enemies. News of Britt's survival began to leak through underground channels. Carly asked Sam. Sam asked Spinelli. The doctors at GH Memorial Hospital were whispering. Sonny Corinthos, the boss of the Port Charles Underground, immediately sent people to follow the port warehouse, fearing that Britt's reappearance might bring along the Eastern European gang that Liesel had once associated with. Meanwhile, Victor Casadini, who always craved brilliant medical minds, eagerly heard that the treasure Britt was not dead, planning to kidnap her back to his private island to force her to join the secret project. All these forces intertwined to create an underground bloodline, ready to explode when the clock struck 0 o'clock. Reunion night, moonlight, tears, and bullets. At midnight, under the silver moonlight shining on the rippling water, the abandoned warehouse was like a silent giant. Jason arrived early, his ears strained to listen for every movement. His flashlight quickly scanned every dark corner, allowing no mistakes. And then, Britt appeared, thinner, but with a determined gaze. The moment the two of them stood still, looking at each other, all sounds seemed to recede. Only the rhythm of their hearts remained. Jason stepped forward, his hand trembling slightly, touching Britt's cheek. I thought I had lost you forever, he whispered. Britt tried to hold back her tears. I'm sorry for making you believe that painful thing. But I had no choice. They hugged each other, happiness and guilt mixed together. However, gunshots suddenly tore through the night. A group of mysterious agents rushed in, clearly wanting to take both Jason and Britt hostage. Jason turned to shield them, placing Britt behind him, and returned fire. The fight was intense, each shell clanging against the steel floor. Marco, hearing the news through the tracking device Liesel gave him, also rushed to the scene, ignoring the danger. He shouted, Britt, sister, lie down, and supported Jason, proving the undying family bond. The turning point, necessary sacrifice. The brief but brutal battle ends as the agents retreat, leaving a bright red message on the wall. We will return. Jason realizes this is just the opening shot, a warning of what is about to happen to Port Charles. Britt, Marco, and Jason rush out of the warehouse, seeking protection from Sonny, from the town police task force, or even from Liesel herself, the only person who knows the ins and outs of the threat. Jason is faced with a choice to take Britt and flee town, away from the home he once protected, or stay, join hands with Sonny, and use their vast network to crush the enemy. He knows that no matter which path he chooses, there will be sacrifices, tears. The days ahead, conspiracy, friendship, and miracles. As Port Charles descends into night, a new dawn is brewing. Britt reunites with Marco, confused and moved to know her own flesh and blood is with her. Liesel watches from afar, secretly promising herself that she can still turn things around, as long as her children live. Jason returns to the penthouse, draws his gun, and wipes it, his dark blue eyes looking out at the sparkling city windows. He knows the storm ahead is not just about fighting off armed men, but also about mending trust with Britt, rescuing a broken family, and saving his own soul from the pit of sin. In the hospital, Dr. Finn and Elizabeth whisper, if Britt really comes back, she will need medical help. She must overcome her PTSD to return to the operating room. The rebirth of hope lights up the white hallways, where each footstep echoes the question, is Port Charles still safe? Next, we will dive deep into the thrilling twists awaiting us over the next 3 weeks from July 14th to August 1st, where Britt Westburn's dramatic return shakes up Port Charles. Rocco Falconeri tempts fate with risky moves, and Jocelyn Jacks finds herself in a whirlwind of unexpected chaos. Starting with the action-packed week of July 14th to 18th, fans can expect an emotional heart-to-heart between Trina Robinson and her best friend Jocelyn Jacks, as they finally carve out time to reconnect amid the bustling drama of everyday life in Port Charles. Trina, still reeling from the sting of betrayal, will open up about Kai Taylor's shocking deception, detailing how his hidden agendas shattered her trust and led her to make the tough call to end their relationship once and for all. To add a layer of intrigue, Trina might even share some previously unspoken suspicions about Kai's ties to shadowy figures in town, hinting at deeper conspiracies that could unravel more secrets down the line. This conversation not only strengthens their unbreakable bond but also sets the stage for Trina's path toward healing, perhaps involving some soul-searching visits to her family's art gallery, where she finds solace in creative expression. As the week progresses, Jocelyn Jacks will be thrust into high-stakes decision-making, forced to think on her feet and spring into action when an unforeseen crisis erupts. Imagine the tension building as Jocelyn spots a fleeting chance to infiltrate Professor Henry Hank Dalton's secretive laboratory, a place rumored to house groundbreaking experiments that could change everything in Port Charles. Alternatively, she might have to intervene to prevent her adventurous friend Emma Scorpio Drake from charging in headfirst, risking exposure or worse in a bid to uncover hidden truths. New details suggest this lab could be equipped with state-of-the-art security systems, including biometric locks and hidden cameras, making any intrusion a pulse-pounding gamble. Jocelyn's quick wits will be tested like never before, potentially leading to alliances with unlikely helpers, such as a tech-savvy acquaintance from her college days, who provides insider tips on bypassing the defenses. Meanwhile, Vaughn's carefully constructed facade is on the verge of crumbling under the relentless scrutiny of Anna Devane, who delves into his mysterious past with her trademark investigative prowess. Anna, drawing on her extensive experience with international intrigue, might uncover evidence linking Vaughn to the World Security Bureau WSB, a revelation that sends shockwaves through her circle. This discovery could extend suspicions to Jocelyn herself, prompting Anna to ponder if the young Jacks is secretly on the WSB payroll, perhaps as part of a covert operation tied to recent Port Charles upheavals. To flesh this out, envision Anna poring over encrypted files in a dimly lit office, piecing together clues from Vaughn's travel history and coded communications, which might even reference past WSB missions in exotic locales like Monaco or Geneva, adding a global flavor to the local drama. Shifting focus to Willow Tate, her encounter with Michael Corinthos, Sasha Gilmore Corbin, and young Daisy Gilmore at General Hospital could ignite a chain of alarming events. Willow's seemingly innocent interaction might raise red flags, especially if her behavior comes across as overly attentive or evasive, leading Sasha and Michael to whisper about the possibility that Willow is stalking Daisy. This suspicion could culminate in a cleverly devised trap, where they monitor Willow's movements through subtle surveillance, perhaps involving hidden apps on shared devices or enlisting hospital staff for discreet observations. If exposed, this might force Willow to confront her hidden motives, ultimately influencing Sasha's decision to stay rooted in Port Charles with Daisy, fostering a sense of stability amid the turmoil. Inventing a fresh angle, Willow could be seen lingering near the pediatric wing, clutching a forgotten toy that belongs to Daisy, heightening the paranoia and setting up intense confrontations in the hospital corridors. On another front, Stella Henry grapples with growing worries about her nephew Curtis, who stubbornly keeps her at arm's length regarding his personal struggles. Curtis, navigating the choppy waters of his marriage, might confide in no one about the mounting tensions exacerbated by Drew Kane's interference, choosing instead to internalize his pain while plotting his next moves. Drew, ever the master manipulator, continues to weave his web of influence, affecting not just Curtis but also Nina Reeves and a host of other residents, perhaps through underhanded business deals or whispered alliances at the Metro Court. Adding depth, Curtis could be spotted in late-night stakeouts, gathering evidence against Drew's schemes, which involve falsified documents and secret meetings in abandoned warehouses on the outskirts of town, amplifying the sense of impending doom. Sonny Corinthos faces mounting pressure to make a profound sacrifice for the sake of his loved ones, with Carly potentially urging him to retreat to his serene island haven in Puerto Rico as threats escalate in Port Charles. This decision weighs heavily on Sonny, torn between his protective instincts and his deep-rooted ties to the city, possibly envisioning a temporary exile that allows him to regroup and plan a comeback. New elements could include Carly discovering anonymous threats delivered via encrypted messages, pushing her to pack emergency bags and map out escape routes. Blending high drama with heartfelt family moments, Lulu Spencer's protective instincts kick into overdrive as she sternly warns Jason Morgan to steer clear of discussing Britt Westburn with her son Rocco, leading to a heated clash with Dante. Lulu's fury might boil over if Dante shows empathy toward Brooklyn Quartermain's accidental slip-up, where she inadvertently allowed a sensitive file to fall into Rocco's hands. Dante, balancing forgiveness with accountability, recognizes Brooklyn's genuine remorse, perhaps recalling her tearful apologies in a quiet coffee shop encounter. Later, Dante stumbles upon something jaw-dropping, like glimpsing Rocco's laptop screen revealing secret emails to Liesl Obrecht. Liesl's enthusiastic responses drawing Rocco deeper into a web of family secrets. Transitioning to the week of July 21st to 25th, Rocco's curiosity about his origins intensifies as he reconnects with Liesl Obrecht under the alias Ben, and she expresses delight at his outreach, potentially arranging a clandestine in-person meeting. During this encounter, Liesl could divulge intimate stories about Britt, painting a vivid picture of her daughter's life, from her medical triumphs to personal heartaches, helping Rocco forge an emotional link to his biological roots. Rocco, feeling a newfound kinship with Britt after learning his true birth story, might sneak out to a neutral spot like a park bench near the harbor, where Liesl shares old photos and mementos, adding layers of nostalgia and potential danger if discovered. Of course, Lulu would be beside herself with rage upon learning of Rocco's contact with Liesl, viewing it as a direct threat to her family's stability. Her attempts to intervene could spectacularly backfire, alienating Rocco and making him feel stifled in his quest for answers, perhaps leading to rebellious outbursts or secret alliances with sympathetic figures like Jason. This conflict underscores themes of identity and closure, with Rocco journaling his thoughts in a hidden diary, chronicling his internal turmoil. As July winds down, Kelly Thibault's eagerly anticipated return to General Hospital promises explosive drama spilling into the week of July 28. August. Hi everybody. Britt Westburn, or possibly a cloned version, might emerge from the depths of Professor Dalton's lab, a facility buzzing with ethical dilemmas and scientific wonders. Or she could surface in an entirely unexpected location, like a forgotten clinic on the city's fringes. This comeback sets the stage for a poignant reunion with Liesl, filled with tears, embraces, and revelations about Britt's time away, perhaps involving tales of underground medical exploits or narrow escapes from peril. Rocco, drawn to these developments, appears destined to form a bond with Britt, exploring their shared history through tentative conversations that could heal old wounds. Finally, Kai Taylor refuses to let go of his chance with Trina, plotting a grand romantic gesture. Think a surprise art exhibit dedicated to her passions or a heartfelt public declaration to demonstrate his unwavering love. However, true redemption might only come if Kai awakens to Drew Kane's manipulative nature, recognizing how he's been played like a pawn in larger games. This epiphany could involve Kai overhearing incriminating conversations or finding damning evidence in Drew's office, paving the way for reconciliation with Trina and a united front against common foes. As these storylines unfold, Port Charles brims with anticipation, promising viewers a roller coaster of emotions and surprises. Stay tuned for more updates.